Hello there guys and girls, this is the Prussian Prince with another Total War Attila tournament cast, and this is the bronze match of Cup of Nations 2015. And in this bronze match we have Klayton of VM playing against Simon of ID. Klayton is using the Jutes here, and Simon is using the Saxons, because essentially in Cup of Nations at the start of the tournament you get a faction designated to use, so that is how it works. But time to go over the builds. So, Jutes here, we have Nordic Warlord General with, looks like Fear, indeed, it's Warcry. Then we have 3 Nordic Horse Lords on the right, 3 Nordic Horse Lords on the left, 3 Huskarls on the right, 3 Huskarls on the left. So very strong infantry contingent here for the Jutes and cavalry as well. Then we have 2 Nordic pikes in the center defending what seems to be 3, 4, 5 Nordic hurlers. So definitely a very strong contingent for the Jutes here. Now let's go over the Saxons, who actually are kind of not really favored in this matchup, really. Like, the Jutes have more chances of winning against the Saxons, but let's go over the build. Saxons here, so bronze 1 fast charge Nordic raid leader. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 axe warriors, so 6 in total if you count the general. We also have, I believe it is a mix of Nordic Horse Lords and Heroic Cav, so it looks like 2 Heroic Cav bronze 1 and 4 Nordic Horse Lords bronze 1. In terms of the skirmishes, as you can see, a Nordic hurler on... Well, we have a single Nordic hurler. Yes, that seems to be the case. And 3 Nordic javelin men in the center, defended by 2 Nordic pikes. Then we have Warhounds. It looks like a single unit of Warhounds. Interesting choice indeed, but we'll see if it actually pays off, as it's going to be difficult for again, for the Saxon player to win here, because the Jutes are just favored in this tournament and with those rules. So, but we will see indeed who is going to make it happen. So yeah, both players are just setting up right now. They're getting ready with their formations, and well, it looks like the Jutes player also has his Nordic Horse Lords bronze 1, but only the ones on the left. I did not notice that. I believe the Saxons here going a bit too far forward with their cavalry. Ooh, this is definitely an overextension. I mean, Heroic Cav against Nordic Horse Lords, definitely Heroic Cav is better, but the thing about that engagement is that Huskarls coming in with rapid advance, coming into support, but very good charge here by the Nordic Horse Lords onto these Huskarls. Super devastating, very well done by the Saxons here. And now with the Nordic Axe Warrior follow-up. However, these Axe Warriors here also doing very nice against the Jutes, and here comes a Nordic Axe Warrior charging the rear of these Huskarls. So, looks like it may not go so well here for the Jutes, but Headhunt activated for Saxons very nicely here. Headhunt is also activated for the Heroic Cav, and this Nordic Horse Lord killed off the Huskarl, but now it's really dying. It is doing a lot of damage to the Nordic pikes though, and nicely done here by the Saxons, just pulling back the left flank. These Nordic hurlers are going to defend here. Ooh, these Huskarls came back, they could go for a devastating charge, but the trade here is not so bad at all for the Saxons, and it looks like they're gonna get a rear charge off onto these units with the axes here. This Nordic Horse Lord is not gonna make it through. I'm not quite sure what it's trying to do here. This is a bit of a waste. And now these Axe Warriors should actually get another charge order and to go straight for these Huskarls, otherwise they're gonna be in bad shape. All these Cav units are engaging right now, and I wonder if this is the best choice for the Jutes, but it looks like the Saxons not reacting, and now they're gonna get their units charged here. This is very bad for the Saxons. But the right flank has gone exceptionally well for the Saxons due to the axe support and getting the charges off onto the Huskarls. That was very, very important. Over here, this Nordic Horse Lord is going down as well to Nordic Axe Warriors. Warhounds kind of doing stuff in there. Oh, looks like the Huskarls are about to get charged here. Very nicely done with the heroic cavalry. Just very, very nicely done here. And as long as they pull out, then they get another charge in. They would do exceptionally well against these Huskarls. Over here, looking very good for the Saxons as well. Even here, the pikes are trading extremely well. 184 kills on Nordic pikes. This is massive here. Very well done by them. But the Nordic raid leader general of the Saxons is engaging Huskarls. This is not a good move. And these javelin are also in melee. This is not good for the Saxons at all. And looks like the Saxons are actually gonna be losing over here, but these javelin just doing insane damage right now. I believe they're targeting the Huskarls or the cavalry. Either way, just doing the damage. But here is going to be the problem for the Saxons. The general is going to end up dying. This is huge. Now he's routed off the field. Good thing for the Saxons though is, okay, I was gonna say that it's good, but that their general isn't dead, but the general is actually dead. So this is huge, and it might mean that the Saxons could lose now due to morale issues. But these Nordic Axe Warriors coming in, and if they get the charges off, I mean, if they get a charge off onto the Nordic Warlord is gonna go down. But it looks like at this point, a lot of the units for the Saxons are starting to waver. These Axe Warriors are not in good shape, and now the Nordic Horse Lords should get a good charge into them with the Huskarls actually kind of destroying the charge here, so not the best. This heroic cavalry is going to mop up the Nordic Horse Lords here, so that's good for the Saxons. So I guess it isn't fully over, especially as this Nordic Axe Warrior is still on the field. And now he's actually going to get a charge off onto all these slingers, so it could do very well. Ooh, the Nordic Warlord is going to engage here, and if he does, if the Axe Warriors get a charge order, and they don't get a charge order on the Nordic Warlord, right now, that means they're just gonna go down, and the slingers should do extremely well against them. Pikes need to reposition though, because more axes coming in for the Saxons. Over here, this Huskarl is going to go down to Nordic Javelin charge. We'll see, because it is just 40 Huskarls, but they're still insane. Oh, and this Nordic Axe Warrior here just routed, and it is huge. Now all these skirmishers, these hurlers, the amount of damage that they're going to do is insane, even though they don't have the morale. Headhunt activated on this heroic cavalry. Now with this follow-up of Nordic Axe Warriors means this Huskarl is gone, but problem for the Saxons is the overextension over here with 2 Axe Warriors. Now they were both lost. The thing is, if this heroic cavalry can go around and snipe those skirmishes, it's gonna go really well. But the thing is, the Jutes still have their general, and this heroic cavalry looks like it's gonna get focused, and it should go down once it's focused. And the pikes are not gonna. The pikes are staying here. The heroic cav is going down to slingers, and now it's slowed down. So, ooh, this is not good. But all these units are also wavering, the pikes. But oh, so much damage being done to the heroic cav. This is huge. Just 6 people are not going to do it, I think. So it looks like now they're going to go around and go for a charge. These pikes might rout because of being attacked in the rear, but they are routed. They are routed, but the cavalry still standing strong with 6 men over here. More axes on the field. Nordic Javelin coming as well. The Nordic Axe Warriors racking up the kills against the pikes, making them rout off the field. And now these Axe Warriors could go in for the charge onto the Nordic Warlord. Nordic Warlord in shield wall, so these Axe Warriors are going to pull out of this engagement. The Nordic Javelin actually fighting off against these hurlers over here. This is huge. Hurlers are going to try and go around to flank the Nordic Javelin. The Axe Warriors are going to go in for a charge onto the Nordic hurlers. That means the Axe Warriors are going to get some really nice kills. Now they're going to pull out, but the Nordic Warlord charging in are going to get into the rear of the Nordic Axe Warriors. And the Axe Warriors are losing a lot of men right now. They can't get their charge off. These Nordic Javelin are wavering. These Axe Warriors now getting rear charged. They turned around, but it is not enough. They did not get a proper charge order on the Nordic Warlord, and now that is going to definitely be over. And it looks like it's going to be 1-0 for the Jutes player, aka Klayton, but after an extremely close game as well, and one Huskarl with 257 kills was all that was necessary, it seems. But he neutralized the Huskarls pretty well though in general, but it was still not enough. But yep, that is game, so I shall see you in game number 2. Currently 1-0 for Klayton. And this is game number 2 between Klayton and Simon. This is, of course, an interesting matchup between two pretty big multiplayer players and veterans, of course, because they've been playing Total War multiplayer for a while. I believe both started at least back in Shogun 2 multiplayer, but I don't remember when exactly they started playing multiplayer competitively, both of them, but I know they were around during the Shogun era. But time to go over the build of the Jutes here, and it is now swamps, by the way, no longer plains. Interesting change of scenery. So we have, for the Jutes, Nordic Warlord, Warcry General, 3 Nordic Horse Lords on each flank, of course, very, very obvious. 3 Huskarls on each flank, normal stuff. 2 Nordic Pikes in the center, supported by 5 Nordic Hurlers. So super annoying Jutes build, that is for certain. Now for the Saxons here though, we have the Nordic Raid Leader General with fast charge. We have 2 Nordic Horse Lords, maybe 3 Nordic Horse Lords, bronze 1 on the left. And 3 Nordic Horse Lords, bronze 1 on the right, so not using the heroic cavalry of the Saxons, interesting choice. Then we see, okay, yeah, of course, the fast charge on Nordic Raid Leader, we already talked about that. And here's the interesting thing. Okay, so 3 Nordic Axe Warriors on each flank, is it? No, 3 on the left, 2 on the right. Center composed of 4 Nordic Javelin Men, right behind these Hurlers, 4 Nordic Hurlers. So, very interesting build here by the Saxons. I believe this was a build used by Panda against the Jutes. He used it against me at least in practice, but looks like the engagement is starting, and I wonder if this is a good idea for the Saxons, honestly, because their Axe Warriors are gonna get in second into Cav fight, and oh, this is gonna be massive. Looks like they don't get around though, because if that Cav got around and hit the Axe Warriors, it would have done a lot of damage, though in return it probably would have died to the Nordic Javelin Men, so one would have to wonder. Here, this engagement, very good for the Saxons, I think, here. But the Huskarls might actually get charged. Looks like, no, they will not. Oh, this Nordic Horse Lord not actually doing a significant amount of damage. And these engagements here, not looking great for the Saxons. And these are actually Royal Huskarls. They are not regular Huskarls. Okay, so a mix of them. And some Nordic Axe Warriors for some odd reason. Yeah, I do not quite get the Jutes build here, honestly. Mix of Royal Huskarls, and Axe Warriors. Might as well just bring regular Huskarls or something then. So the Nordic Horse Lords coming in here, and we have Nordic Axe Warriors routing, but more Axe Warriors pulling through here. This engagement, what a rear charge by the Nordic Horse Lords here, just going to absolutely destroy this flank of the Saxons. 2 Axe units will rout, which is insane. And now this Axe Warrior here is going to kill off that headhunted Saxon Horse Lord. Some Nordic Axe Warriors coming back though for the Saxons here. And we're gonna see the Nordic Raid Leader charging in frontally in the center. This is a bit of a risky move, honestly. Clearly Saxons winning the right and they are losing the left. But I wonder if this is going to be enough though. So these Nordic Horse Lords pulling out, but they might want to actually just charge the pikes because they don't seem to be in pike formation. Nordic Raid Leaders still attacking these slingers and such. The headhunt here on the Nordic Horse Lord, so important in holding these units down. Now we're going to see these Huskarls getting targeted as well as the Nordic Horse Lords. This Huskarl got charged, so it's going to end up dying. Pike unit is in position, but it's not really going to do too much here. It's actually facing the other way, and it's not in pike formation for the Jutes, so that is huge. Really nice charge here into the Hurlers, even though they don't have much ammo left. It's nice to route them off the field. And now it looks like this hurler, because if it's out of ammo, it's going to move in and act as a bit of a charge bait while the rest of the skirmishers fire at these units. So that's a very, very good trade for the Saxons here. Nordic Raid Leader pushing forward against the hurlers. Hurlers doing significant damage though to these Nordic Horse Lords. Look at the Horse Lords just dying to hurlers only. These Horse Lords are not looking great, and at this point there are not a lot of units left for the Jutes. And yes, we have these Nordic Axe Warriors left, but now the General got charged, Nordic Warlord General that is, by Nordic Horse Lords. He's gonna take a lot of casualties on the charge, as you can see here. 100 men remaining already after the charge, so more charges are just going to destroy him. Nordic Raid Leader pulling out here so that he doesn't die. That's a very good choice by the Saxons. Gonna use the Javelin Men as meat shield. And now this charge into the Axe Warrior as well. That is massive. It's going to rout that unit off the field. This Huskarl is gonna get rear charged by Nordic Hurlers, and it might rout. Yeah, it routes to Nordic Hurlers, so Nordic Hurlers routing Huskarls in melee. Don't see that too often, but that was very cool. So now the Nordic Warlord here, the General for the Jutes, is going to start engaging, but he's not. And if it was a chieftain with Gedrick, it may have won in this scenario. Well, I say may because it may not have, but it would have been very close. But he's not, he's just a Nordic Warlord, and wow, the damage. Here come the Axe Warriors. They're gonna mop up this Nordic Warlord very, very soon here. So much damage taken by the Nordic Warlord General here. It is insane. Looks like now it's routed off the field. The Warlord is getting chased off the field, and wow, smacked in the back of the head. It's gonna be pretty painful. Well, that being said though, you kinda die instantly, so you don't feel pain, I guess. You don't have time to feel pain, rather, I imagine. But yeah, that is going to be game. Looks like Nordic Hurlers is still the last guys to rout off the field. But that is game. As you can see here, the Huskarl is not doing so well as previous games. And again, the odd choice bringing the Nordic Axe Warriors. Do not understand that move by Klayton. Should have just replaced the Royal Huskarl with a regular Huskarl, and then brought this as a regular Huskarl as well. I do not really understand what Klayton was trying to do there with that. But yeah, for Simon though, lots of kills on the Cav and a decent bit of kills on the Axe Warrior is actually very, very impressive. And those Javelins, wow. Javelins doing significant damage as well. Very well done. So at this point it is 1-1 between the two players. It's becoming very interesting, but this is a best of 5, so first to get to 3 wins is going to end up taking the series. But yeah, I shall see you in game 3. And this is game 3 between Simon and Klayton, or I suppose better said Klayton and Simon, since Klayton is was apparently technically, I suppose you could say, the attacker in the first game, as he is on top of the bracket, I believe. But time to go over the builds again. So for the Jutes, we have the Nordic Raid Leader General this time around with Warcry. We have on each flank 3 Nordic Horse Lords. Looks like in terms of upgrades, 3 bronze 1 chevrons. A bronze 1 chevron on each of these 3 Nordic Horse Lords. Looks like 3 Huskarls on the right, 3 Huskarls on the left. Skirmish contingent of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Nordic Hurlers. Is it 3, 4, 5, 6 Nordic Hurlers indeed. And a single spear unit, this Nordic Levy up in the center. So very, very interesting composition here by the Jutes, and quite strong in my opinion. Now let's look at the Saxon one. So we have a very interesting one as well. So Nordic Raid Leader with fast charge. On the left we have 3 Nordic Horse Lords bronze 1. On the right 3 Nordic Horse Lords bronze 1 as well. Then we have a total of 4 Warhounds. And let's see, a bunch of Axe Warriors, I believe 6 of those in total. On the left we have bronze 1 Axe Warriors, on the right vanilla Axe Warriors. Then we do have a bunch of Javelin Men as well. 3 Nordic Javelin Men that is. But this is going to be an interesting game. Looks like the Warhounds are being released here to block the charge of the Jutes. They're actually coming in very quickly here, and they're just gonna stop and not gonna do anything, it seems. But nice javelins being thrown here by the Saxons. But yeah, the Jutes also get in. So I think the engagement is gonna be much better here for the Jutes. Indeed it is. Saxons committed, and this is not a good commitment at all, because the Huskarls are already in the fight, though they kind of actually took a lot of damage. They're down to 109, and some more of these, yeah, these axe warriors, when they come in, they could do a lot of damage if they get a charge off under the Huskarls. But there's already another Huskarl on the field, and this axe warrior getting charged by cavalry is not good at all for the Saxons. Just look at it drop down to below 80. This cav charge, though, not actually getting into the Huskarls. This is huge. They did not charge the Huskarls, and this axe warrior is not delivering its charge against the Huskarl. That is a huge micro mistake for the Saxons. And the Javelin getting in melee with the Nordic levy, that is not good either. So yeah, charge the Nordic hurlers, but in the meantime did not charge the Huskarls. Okay, now charging the Huskarls, but as you can see, Nordic horse lords are insanely slow when targeted by slingers, so they can hardly pull out. But again, over here, terrible engagement. Axe warriors getting charged, and more cavalry on the field. Aside from the better support, Huskarl is much better support than the axe warriors for the Jutes here. And again, over here, again another overextension by the Saxons. They just pushed up a bit too far. I mean, they used the dogs, yeah, to block the charge, but then the overextension was huge there. And as you can see here, it's not going well for the Saxons. And the axe warriors did not get a charge here. And the cavalry, for some reason, went into the hurlers instead of charging the Huskarls while getting a charge off with the axe warriors. So that was a massive mistake for Saxons. Though this unit here will not do too terribly for the moment. But still, it's not looking great for the Saxons here. The Nordic raid leader, I mean, he has a lot of work to do if he wants to change the outcome of this battle. So now the Nordic axe warriors are gonna go down here to Nordic horse lords. We're gonna see some insane cav charges into all these axe warriors and the Nordic raid leader. It's just gonna do significant amount of damage. These units over here clearly going to lose the Nordic horse lords and Huskarl support. So I mean, right now, like, the Saxons just took a bunch of not good trades at all. Like, the way this engagement went, just a lot of overconfidence or something, not quite sure. And on top of Miss Micro as well. So definitely this is a pretty clear victory for the Jutes. One. So let's zoom in right now and just watch these Huskarls chop down the axe warriors, because that is what is going to be happening here. Just Huskarls chopping down axes. Just noticed something funny, that this guy's shield just appears and disappears on his back. Huh, I did not know about it. Did you see that? It just appeared and disappeared. That was funny, but yeah, that seems to be it. These units are now running off the field, the axes, but they're just getting followed, so they're gonna get killed. And that is game in favor of Jutes. So Klayton is now up 2-1 against Simon. Good amount of kills on his Huskarls. They're still alive, a lot of them, that is. Hurdler's doing a mighty fine job against the cavalry of Saxons, actually. And even though the Saxon Javelin got a lot of kills, overall the axe warriors were disappointing, to say the least. The Nordic horse lords too, because they were, again, the axes and Nordic horse lords were not used properly in this fight. Either the Warhounds, I mean, the Warhounds were kind of wasted too. But that is the game. So I shall see you in, I believe this is going to be, so since it's 2-1 for Klayton, this was game 3, it's going to be game 4. Potentially final game if Klayton actually wins it. See you then. This is the 4th game of the match, and it is match point for Klayton. That's the Jutes now. If he wins this match, he is essentially going to be the 3rd place finisher in Cup of Nations. And while it's not as good as first place or second place, it's still quite an amazing feat, to be fair. Even though he is the Jutes, which at this current state of the game, they're like a top 3 faction. Certainly best infantry in the game. Has to be kept in mind. So like we have Jutes here. See the contingent. We have Nordic Levy in the center over here. Up front, a bunch of Nordic hurlers. 6 of them, and then 3 Huskarls on each flank. The Nordic Raid Leader, Warcry General, and 3 Nordic Horse Lords on the left. Looks like 2 Bronze 1. On the right, 1 is Bronze 1 as well. Now for the Saxons, what do we have? Well, Bronze 1 Nordic Raid Leader with Fast Charge. Then we see, okay, 2 Heroic Cav and 1 Nordic Horse Lord on the left. All these units are Bronze 1. On the right, we see 3 Nordic Horse Lords, Bronze 1. Honestly, I would have preferred if there was a Heroic Cav over here as well, besides having just 2 of them on one flank, but oh well. Then we have 3 Nordic Axe Warriors on the left, 2 are Bronze 1, 1 is Vanilla. On the right, we have 2 Nordic Axe Warriors, again, same thing, 1 Bronze 1, 1 Vanilla. And more importantly, we have 3 Nordic Hurlers, well, not necessarily more importantly, but still, 4 Nordic Hurlers, and an Elite Saxon Javelin, Bronze 1. Quite a weird choice, the fact that Elite Saxon Javelin are Bronze 1, I mean with the upgrades, and just bringing them in general. Then we do see 2 Nordic Pikes all the way in the back, but let's see how this is going to go, because clearly skirmish advantage does go to Jutes. They have a lot more Nordic hurlers that they can use here, as they have 6 against, it seems like 4. So it is a very good scenario here for the Jutes. And again, more infantry capabilities as well, whereas the Saxons don't have as good infantry, and they don't have as many skirmishers. Well, the number is, I believe, is the same. No, they actually have 5 in total because of the Elite Saxon Javelin. And the Elite Saxon Javelin is going to do a lot of damage, but it just has to kill something else. And as you can see, they have excellent armor and a lot of health, so being targeted by Nordic hurlers is not going to do a lot of damage. However, these pikes can in fact be targeted, and they're going to take significant damage, as will targeting these units, because their speed is going to go down, and it looks like that is the case. So these Nordic Horse Lords are going to get a better charge off. But the thing is, Saxons getting in first on some engagements, but look at these rapid advanced Huskarls just charging in like madmen. Getting in so quickly. But looks like there's a mistake here by the Jutes. They are not supporting this engagement too well, as there's a Nordic Horse Lord only here. And I believe the Saxons can pull out this Heroic Cavalry, because the Nordic Horse Lord would die to these Axe Warriors. And over here you can see already that Nordic Horse Lord's taking damage here. And this Nordic Horse Lord, honestly, I think this unit is just gonna be wasted. It's getting some kills on Nordic Hurlers, but it's just going to die. However, what it is doing though is stopping all these units from doing damage. And here come the Saxons again pushing through over here. But this unit is about to fall. This Heroic Cav only caught 6 kills. The Saxons are being very slow over here with the attack. Nordic Raid Leader trying to flank, but this Heroic Cavalry won't hold for much longer, and it's being definitely not very effective. Though the Saxons pushed through over here against the Nordic Horse Lords, so... Oh, this is a mistake. No rear charge over here. He should have rear charged with this Nordic Horse Lord, definitely, honestly. This side, because if he rear charged over here, these Huskarls would have probably already been routed. These 2 axe units would have been done for the Jutes, but right now he did not with that Horse Lord. So This is gonna mean that the Jutes instead will win this engagement over here, and his general could die. And these axe warriors, as you can see here, not doing anything. These heroic cavalry are being stationary and not doing anything either. Over here, this engagement is just gonna go very poorly for the Saxons as well. And I mean, yeah, it looks like he is going to be able to get rid of one Huskarl here. Very well done with the Horse Lords here, and looks like a second Huskarl, but I mean, the engagement over here for the Saxons was not taken very well. This charge, though, with the heroic cavalry is going to be massive, and his Nordic raid leader is still alive and doing significant damage to the Huskarls here. However, the Jutes are doing very well here with the Nordic Horse Lords, and again, Jutes also doing extremely well here too. These Huskarls being wasted. I don't know why they're not charging the Axe Warriors here. Hurlers here doing a very good job. They're probably just gonna jump into the fray here in melee and stop all these units from firing. That's going to be important. But here's the problem for the Saxons. General just died. So, because of a rear charge. So now that the general is dead for Saxons, this might actually be the end of the Saxons. And this unit hasn't really fired too many volleys, it seems. Now this axe warrior is going to get destroyed by Horse Lords. However, this cav unit is going to die soon for the Jutes. But still, oh, this cavalry unit is going to get a very good clean charge off into the axe warriors. It's going to drop them significantly, I feel. Even if it's like a couple units. I didn't lose as many as I thought in that charge. But the Saxons have no general, so that's not going to be good. Oh, rear charging the elite Saxon javelin, not good here for the Saxons. But Frenzy is activated, so the javelin won't do as bad in melee. But I mean, right now the axes are falling for the Saxons. Nordic raid leaders still. So many kills for the Jutes here, and just a couple of units left for the Saxons. Looks like this heroic cavalry is going to be the last unit, and it is under headhunt, so it's not going to rout for a while. It's like 20 seconds, so let's just jump into the fray here. Watch these guys fight. Huskarl is going to be chopping down these guys really quickly. And looks like even some sword units here. Oh, the hurlers. I was like, what? Sword units in this scenario? Strange. But yeah, definitely Jutes being victorious here. And Klayton is going to take a very nice 3-1 victory against Simon in this bronze match. And he's going to be a 3rd place finisher. And that is game and match. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see more, don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. Share the video, and I'll see you next time.